Hello and welcome to your Team DSI Advanced Leadership webinar. I want to acknowledge you for being one of the best team members on Team DSI and one of the best associates in USANA. You're the type of person that works your plan, who makes a plan on Sundays, you know your volume, you're playing the game at the highest level. I'm super proud of you, and we want to give you extra training and support. And that's what this call today is all about. And before we get into our special guest and the interview with her, I just want to remind you that amateurs sell products, professionals sell the vision. And it's great to get clients. I definitely say that that's a very important thing to do. But when you have clients, make sure that you invite them to these types of webinars. You can bring clients to this webinar. Invite your clients to big events. Just continue to show them that USANA is more than just a product. USANA is a community. USANA is a financial stability vehicle. And there's so much that USANA has to offer. And you are that person who shares the USANA vision. So thank you for everything that you do. We have a very special guest on the call today, Dr. Deborah Kern, who's an Emerald Director who's just been traveling for the last 4 months. And I have always admired Dr. Kern. We have known each other for at least 5 years now, since we met at the convention a couple years ago. But we've just become great friends. She's helped me and my wife, Crystal, especially when my wife was getting over the cancer treatments. And today, Crystal's cancer-free, 100% healthy. And thank you, Dr. Deb, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with our team. I love you. I feel very grateful that you took time to be on. Thank you for being such a great inspiration to me and so many others. And on today's call, we just want to hear about your story. We want to hear about what your life was like before USANA and what USANA has done for your life, you know, having your business and the products, and also what were some of the biggest challenges you had to overcome. Things like that. And of course, we want to hear about your 4 months abroad and specifically how your USANA business supported you financially to do that. I mean, that's very impressive that you can take that much time off and still have money coming in. So we have basically 30 minutes to go over. We usually open it up about 12:20 or 12:23 for questions and go from there. But Deb Kern, welcome to the call.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Jared. I love you. I love you and Crystal and your mom and your dad. And this is one of my, this is really besides the paychecks, this is, and the products, this is really the best thing is that, getting to know each other and supporting each other, especially in where one of us has a strength and the other has a strength in a different area. I love that. So thank you for having me on. And I've met so many of your team. I imagine most of the people that I'm speaking to, I've actually hugged in person, which I love to know that too. So, and if I haven't hugged you in person, I look forward to doing that soon. October 28th, I think, is our, the USANA University. So I'll bring a crew down from Austin and we'll all have a hug fest. So, let me just take a breath and go backwards in time. 13 years ago is when I started my business. And I was working 70 hours a week. My son was just had started first grade. He's now in college. Like, it's just crazy. Wow. So my son had just started first grade, and I was working so many hours because my husband's business had filed bankruptcy in the state of Alabama, which means they don't even protect your property. And he had personally secured a bunch of debt, and he also ruptured his L4, L5 disc, had his gallbladder removed, and had kidney stones all within 3 months, and went into a depression. So it was up to me to figure out how, I took it on anyway, to figure out how to make up for all that. So I was working like crazy. I was working at a spa, which sounds all glamorous, but the truth is the people who really need the spa are the people who work there. Because I formerly had been a nurse, and my PhD is in health sciences. Most people know that. But at this point, I was running programs at a spa, and it's really like working at a hospital for those of you who have worked in hospitals, except for the patients are awake and they are demanding because they're paying a lot of money. So they're there 7 days a week. So I was working so many hours, and I missed my son's first grade play. I worked on Christmas Day. I worked Thanksgiving Day. I worked on Easter Day. And I would leave before he woke up, and I didn't get home till he was asleep at night. And I was exhausted. And around that time, my Epstein-Barr virus kicked up, which I didn't know I had, but then I was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr. And I was so exhausted that I was just exhausted to the bone. I just wanted to paint that picture. And, you know, in my mind, my only way out of it, because my husband, he actually never did we're not married anymore, but for the last 20 years, I was kind of it. I was always supporting one. I couldn't figure out how to do it, except for to work harder and harder. That was the model that I had. And so I just kept taking extra speaking jobs, and my health wasn't doing great. So there's the picture. You asked, how was I before? And what happened is Dr. Christian Northrup, who happens to be a good friend of mine also, she came to the spa as a guest lecturer. And she had just started representing the line of products, selling the products. She had been using USANA products for much longer. And y'all probably know her story, but her story is part of my story, which is she recommended the USANA products to her patients for many years and her family before starting the business. But she was just starting her team. And she introduced it to me. And it was like the... You know, like that on Charlie Brown, you know, when the teacher is talking like wah, 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 wah. I mean, I saw her lips moving, but I couldn't hear the words because I was thinking, how the heck can I add another thing? I have no time. I am working here morning till night, 7 days a week. And I can't talk about it to anybody because I work at a 5-star spa. So I cannot, I mean, I will get fired if I mention a competing company's products like facial stuff, and I can't talk about supplements there. So I have no one I can talk to because I'm here all day. So I can't talk to anybody. And I know for a fact I can't sell because long ago in the 1980s, I've been an aerobics teacher. And back in the 80s, some of y'all old enough to remember these days, the Jane Fonda days, we packed our classes. Like I had 60 people on my Saturday morning class. And someone convinced me that because I had such a large crowd and they do anything I say, which kind of was true, that I should sell these water filters. And it was a multi-level company. And so I bought, it was $1980. You got to remember this. And I had to buy $1,300 worth of water filters. They were $130 each, and I had to buy 10 of them. And that was my inventory. And then I proceeded to go to people's houses and do the demo where you hook it up and first you show them how bad their water is, you test it, then you hook it up and you show them now how great their water is. And to a person, the people would say, oh my God, I need that. And I would say, yeah, you do need that. And then they would say, how much is it? And I would say $130. And they would say, oh, I can't afford that. Well, I couldn't just take it away. I just showed them how terrible their water was. So I gave every one of those water filters away. So basically I lost $1,300 because I couldn't ask for money. And so therefore I knew for a fact I cannot sell. That's what I knew about myself. So I don't have any time to sell. I don't know. I can't talk to anybody about anything other than the spa. I know that I can't sell, even if I could sell and I knew anybody. And if I had the time, which I don't, I had no money because, as you just heard, trying to pull out of a bankruptcy. And I mean, for goodness sakes, I have a PhD. What is a PhD person? I have such an ego about that. I can't be in a network marketing company. I was like, isn't that below me? These are the thoughts I had. So when you asked like what obstacles, well, those are a few. And so I let the opportunity pass, and a year went by. And in that year that went by, not only was my Epstein-Barr acting up, I had shingles twice. I had pneumonia, all of this because my immune system was down. I gained 35 pounds in that 1 year. And when I saw Dr. Northrup the next year, she came and those of you who know her know she doesn't mince words. She just looked right at me and said, so how's it working for you? And the answer was not. I said, I think I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. I'm so miserable. And the most important thing is my son. So she said, look, actually, Penny's the one. Y'all know Penny Kirk. Penny's the one who said, well, Chris said, look, take the supplements, buy enough for yourself. Because I was taking, I work with an alternative integrative medical doctor, and I was working at our local compounding pharmacy, putting together a vitamin mineral regimen. and it cost me around $280 a month, all the stuff I was taking from my Epstein-Barr and to help me. She said, look, just take a health pack, which is $110 or whatever it was at the time, 107 at the time. And stop taking all that other stuff. Just take a health pack and buy the products, and you'll have enough to start a business. And then the worst thing that'll happen is you'll just get a little healthier. And so I thought, well, that's kind of easy. And then my big sales pitch, y'all, was this. This was Penny Kirk. She presented to me. She didn't present the compensation plan to me. That would have blown my mind. I wouldn't have been able to take it in. What she did was she showed me, back in those days, we had these options. We called it a pro pack or an entrepreneur pack. That's all she told me. But basically the investment was $1,250 or I don't remember, 600 something. And she said to me, it needs to hurt enough to make you do something with it. So I think you should get a pro pack. That's what she said to me. I said, okay. And I gave her my credit card. That was my sales pitch. And I signed up. I got a pro pack, which had back in those days, it had the equivalent of a reset kit. They were in cans back then. And enough for my whole family. And so I started taking the health pack instead of my $208 worth of bottles of stuff. And I did the reset. And I dropped like right away 12 pounds because of all the inflammation that I had. I felt amazing. My nails, the first thing that people noticed besides the weight loss were my nails started growing, and which my nails wouldn't grow before. And I was tapping them on the desk one day and someone said, are those your nails? And even I was surprised. I looked at them and I said, they are. I don't know when they got that long. I don't know how that happened. They said, and then I was thinking out loud, I said, maybe it's these supplements that Dr. Northrup told me to take. And the person said, I want them. And I had no idea how to place an order. So I had to figure out how to place an order for a customer. And then everybody wanted the supplements. My hairdresser, because my hair was growing and she'd never seen it so healthy. So I started getting customers. My friend, Dr. Karen Wolf, right away, she wanted to do whatever I was doing. So that was why, lucky me, I know you're all going, oh, I wish I had a diamond in my downline. And you will. I just lucked out with one early. But as you all know, one strong leg doesn't make a business. So I'm very grateful and fortunate that Karen is my first associate, and I still had to do the work for the other side. So I didn't work my business for the first 6 months until things got so unbearable at the spa that I kept getting sicker. And Chris Northrup said to me, what would you tell another woman? Would you tell her to just suck it up and keep getting sick? Or would you tell her to believe in herself that she could build a business? And I'm like, well, gosh, I would tell them they could, because I see the products work. And I was making some checks. I could see that I was making money. I actually didn't know how I was making money, by the way. I still didn't know. I didn't even know we had an online DLM or whatever we called it back then. In fact, I got a string of pearls once in the mail because I won most preferred customer award. And I called USANA and told them there'd been a mistake, that they accidentally sent me pearl necklace. And they said, no, it's because you won this contest. I didn't even know, but I was signing up a lot of customers because I really believed. And you might want to say, how did you get your customers if you were working at the spa? Here's how it happened. My son was in the Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. And so whenever I would go on a Cub Scout camp out, I had my bars and shakes because I didn't want to eat like marshmallows and all the crap all the bad food that they eat at the campfires. So people would then say, what do you have? And I would say this, and then I'd do this 5-day program. And then I had signed up all these people, just talking to them at the campfire, and then also waiting for him in Taekwondo. Because all the parents sit there in these little plastic chairs waiting for the kids. And I learned real quick to bring a shake with me. And people would ask me about my shake. I sold so much product just drinking out of my shaker bottle. That's pretty much how that and the third way, those were customers. I signed up a lot of associates by, on my drive home, my commute was the only time that I had 20 minutes, which not long, but 20 minutes in the car. And we had just moved to Austin. So I had friends. I didn't have any friends in Austin yet. So I would use that time to call my friends in other places just to connect. And it was a natural thing for people to say, what's new? And I would say, well, I'm doing this business. I'm building a business with Dr. Christian Northrup. because it was just true. And then they would say, what kind of business? And I didn't have a very eloquent way to say it. I just said, well, there are these supplements that she used with her patients, and now she's representing that line, and she's training other women how to make a business of that. So that's what I'm doing. And then I think like 9 out of 10 people wanted to do it too. That's how I started. So let's see, what else did you ask me? Well, after the 6 months, I quit my job. This is the thing. Just remind you, my son needed to be in a private school. We still hadn't pulled out of the bankruptcy. I had a really good paycheck at the spa, and I quit. I just quit. And I built my business with a fire pushing me. Those of you who have ever supported people that you love, a family, you'll do anything. So I did not want to sell. I didn't want to do business-focused meetings. I didn't want to, but I did it. And it really isn't that bad, because what I realized is the products were making me healthier. I think I left out I didn't leave out a step. Later, when I went to Sanaviv, I saw how my immune system had gotten so much better, because I stopped having all the bad symptoms, especially after I quit the spa. And in 6 months, I went in gold director. So the first 6 months, I kind of did nothing. The next 6 months, I did nothing out of the ordinary. I did not have Facebook. It might have existed, but I don't know if it did. Certainly Instagram didn't exist. I just used the telephone, the actual telephone. I didn't have a phone that could text. I had one of those old, flip-top phones. So I just called people and connected with them and said, what's new? And I listened. I followed back then Tim Sales, and I just did it to you guys, which is in telling my story. I named the top 5 objections, which were the truth for me. And those objections are the truth for other people pretty much across the board, which is I have no time, I have no money, I don't know anybody, I can't sell, and I don't trust network marketing. I had those objections, and I learned how to, thanks to Tim Sales, incorporate it into a natural conversation, not always all at once like I did with y'all, because I'm trying to go fast because I know I have 30 minutes, but I would listen in conversation and tell the truth about what's happening in my life. And these are actual friends. They actually cared and they're interested. And then I would listen to where their needs and desires were. And if I had something that would match it, I would rarely mention it in that conversation. This is just my style. I'm just telling you how I do. But I would stick it in my brain and say, oh, she mentioned that they're worried about how they're going to pay for college. Or, oh, she needs a new car, but they can't afford a car payment. Or, oh, whatever the thing was. And then the next day or 2 days later, I would call back and say, remember the other day we were talking and you said, and I would use her words, they're his words, X, Y, Z, you said this. I don't know why I didn't think about it then. Okay, that was a little white lie because I did think about it. But the truth is I wasn't ready to talk about it. So I would just say, I don't know why I didn't think about it then, but it just dawned on me that the thing I'm doing, and I would make the language appropriate for the conversation. I would say, if they knew who Dr. Northrup was, I would say, this business I'm building with Dr. Northrup, because women my age, they know who she is, but generally men don't, and generally women under about 45, they don't know who she is either. So it's not that helpful to me. So then I would say something else, whatever I think could relate to them. This thing I'm doing, it might interest you because that's how and then I would fill in paying my car payment, or that's how I'm putting away college for money. I would cite it money for college. I'd tie it into what they wanted. And that's how I started building. I did do a lot of events. They didn't do much for me, but I think you can't know. Like I remember, oh gosh, I used to get hotel rooms and nobody would come. And I had numerous gatherings at my house that only associates came to that didn't do anything. But you think it's not doing anything. But there's this thing about energy where you don't always see the direct response to your action in USANA, but you do see it later. So I was doing meetings and meetings and events, and I wasn't seeing a direct response. Like from that meeting, someone didn't sign up, or from that event, someone didn't buy product. But somehow, and I can't explain it, and it's 13 years ago, I don't remember the exact scenarios, but somehow people just started knowing that this is what I was doing and conversations were happening. So I built like crazy for the first 6 months, goal director. And it took me, I believe, another year, and maybe I did Ruby the next year, because I really had the mojo and the push. So I went gold one year, Ruby the next, which is a significant income, y'all, with the bonus. That is great. It took me a couple more years, I think 3 more years, to do Emerald, partly because I lost it's probably Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Once you have certain needs met, and my needs were being met, I didn't have quite the push. But then I had a vision of how it could help more people, and I'm very motivated by that. And I definitely went, my Emerald run was definitely so team-based. I was so motivated to help the leaders in my team get what they wanted. That's what motivated me to take me to Emerald. And then I went through some really rough relationship things in my marriage that really hardest thing I've ever done in my life, ever. So I've been divorced now for 3 years, and then my son went to college last year. And so for any of you who've gone through that kind of thing, it's like multiple deaths. And I didn't have what it took to kind of do much of anything. I maintained my USANA business, of course. I maintained relationships with my customers and with my team, but I wasn't building. And my business supported me. My business supported, oh gosh. Well, first of all, ever since I went Ruby, I was home every day when my son got home from school. Every day. I could see him from my home office. I could see him walk up the hill from the bus. And I would like I'm like a dog. I am a dog. I'm like a dog waiting at the door. I'm so happy to see him. My tail is wagging. I could be there every day with a snack. And I got to see him every single day after school. And then when he started swimming, he's a swimmer, and I was able to be at every swim meet. I was a volunteer. I was a timer. I didn't miss a single swim meet because I had a business that would support me, that I could miss a whole Friday. You know, so many parents can't go on a Friday swim meet. I could be there for the whole day. And he got to the Olympic trials, which meant that I was cooking 4 meals for 4 years. I was cooking 4 meals a day for him. They had to be timed perfectly with a certain proteins and carbs and all that. And he's taking USANA supplements. He is the only kid not getting sick. Let's talk about the health benefits. He's not getting sick. He's using Nutrimil as a recovery drink. He's using Rev3, and all the other kids are using, what's that bull drink? I forgot. I've been out of the country so long, but I know it has a bull in it. You know what I mean? So his health, my health, the finances, the freedom, and all the way to Olympic trials. And I got to be present for every single minute. So I couldn't be more grateful to USANA for my health, for his health, and my husband, who's now my ex-husband. It's his health too. His health and his well-being. I mean, we wouldn't be here. I shudder to think, actually. So I feel like I should stop talking, Jared, and maybe have you ask a question, because I talked a long time, but that's what's on my heart to share. And I'm sure there's specifics maybe you want to ask.
Absolutely. I know people have questions. They always do here to finish up. But Deb, this has been such a phenomenal story. I've just been riveted to my computer. Dad, can I show my face? I don't know if I can.
Yeah. I don't know.
My dad has to allow that. Okay, hold on. Start my video.
Oh, there you are. Hi, I see you.
We disable the video so it's not so distracting for everyone. Yeah. This has just been so cool. I'm going to watch this recording again too, because man, some of the things you said about how you talk to your prospects and how you kind of naturally wove in how you didn't trust network marketing, or you weren't a salesperson, and man, great strategies. Your story is so heartfelt. It's like you can feel the joy when you get to see your son come home from school every day for 4 years, and I remember visiting you in Austin when Crystal had just kind of healed from all her cancer stuff.
Yes.
Had such a nice afternoon at your house. And it was just so cool to like hang with you and like the friendships that we've built, you know, as well. I mean, on top of all these other great benefits,
Yeah.
just totally pumped me up to go build my business today. So,
Good.
yeah, for sure. So does anyone have questions? If you do, raise your hand or type it in the chat box. And while people are thinking of questions, I'll just go ahead and ask. I'll ask a question. If you were to start over, Deb, if you let's say you had to start from zero again with your business, what would you do today to go and start building your business?
Well, I would take out all the vitamins and supplements and shakes and bars and soaps and facial stuff and put everything USANA into my house and start putting it into my body so that I would have a felt experience, so that when I spoke, it would come from inside of me deeply. And hold on, let me just... Okay, so today I would lickety-split start positioning myself on social media to follow my personal journey. I would take before pictures. I would document the before feelings, the before finances, the before, and I would be transparent in my dreams and why I would be transparent on social media, and I would immediately, if you will, how do you call it? Like brand myself. I think we think people like, someone that we see like Krista Raub or someone else, oh, well, they can do it, but I can't. No, yes, you can. And your people will be attracted to your truth. And in this day and age with social media, the only way they know is if you are it unapologetically, completely transparently, and consistently. Because the way the algorithms in Facebook and Instagram don't always show you to everyone. So you feel like I'm doing this too much. I'm being this, no, every day I'd be on there going, and today this is what I'm eating. And then to now, that lunch, this is what I'm eating. And this is why I'm eating it. And this is why I'm having my supplements. And this is why, that's what I would do. That's the short of it. Yeah.
Cool. So you'd have a real strong social media strategy.
Yeah, I would.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. All right. Who has a question? We have time for like one or two questions.
I have a one. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I might have missed it, but where were you for 4 months? Like, where did you go for 4 months?
Yeah, I didn't even tell it. So you can imagine being as involved as I was in Micah's life, I knew that him going to college was going to be rough. So I planned what I called a gap year. And I gave myself permission for 1 whole year to not even know who I was, to not even know what I was or who I was, and be very like amorphous. And the last of my gap year was 4 months studying in, I led a retreat first in Mexico in Tulum, directly went to Bali for 2.5 months, where I studied for 2 months. And then I led a retreat for 2 weeks. And then I went to Thailand for 4 weeks and studied. And I was in Bali, I was studying specifically the female pelvis, SI joint, and sacrum in Hatha yoga for healing, for women's pain that they feel in their low back, hips, and feet that are related to that. So I'll put that there. I'm super on fire about it because I learned things that I've been looking for over 20 years. I did that. And then in Thailand, I studied Thai massage, and then I found my way into the healers that don't teach to foreigners. And I learned herbal medicine, hot compress treatments, and energy work, and also how to help women get their organs back in place after delivery. So that's what I did.
Oh, that's awesome. We still have to get together after my whole ordeal is over. I just want to really get.
Yes, we will. And I have some things that definitely can help support the recovery.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
You're so awesome.
All right. Fantastic. Well, we're out of time. It's 12:30 on the dot. Deb, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to share your story. This was so phenomenal. And we did record this as well. So this can be something you can use to share as a story if you'd like, of course, with your permission. And I'll call you after this call. But thank you again for being on. I learned so much. I know everyone else did as well. Many who are on are at work right now and they're watching, on their lunch breaks and everything. But we definitely look forward to seeing you at USANA University.
I'll be here.
Yes, and Dad, can you please unmute the lines and everyone say thank you, Deb, and have an awesome day and God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, everybody.
Have an awesome day.
Thank
God bless.
you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Deb.
Bye.
That was my son, Sam.
Oh, hi, Sam. Bye, Sam.